Good morning, students. Today we'll see the interior of the skull. So, before going that, the skull vault is formed by anteriorly by the frontal bone, on either side by the parietal bone, and posteriorly it is formed by the occipital bone. And in between them, you can see this is the uh, your coronal suture, this is sagittal suture, and posteriorly this Y shape, inverted Y shape, your lambdoid suture. So there are bones which forms the vault is frontal bone, this is parietal on either side, and posteriorly the occipital bone. Now if you see the interior of the skull, what you are able to see? So the in anterior most part, this spine like projection, what you are able to see, what is known as the frontal crest. This is called as frontal crest. Okay, followed by it you can see a longitudinal groove in relation to this your sagittal suture. This groove is known as what is known as your this groove, it is known as sagittal sulcus. So this lodges the part of the dura mater along with your superior sagittal sinus. Further, if you see, you can see if interior this, there are small tiny pits which you are able to see over here. They are known as what is known as the pit because of the arachnoid granulation, and they are what is known as granular foveolae. What you call it is a granular foveolae. Another thing what you are able to see is these are the vascular markings. These vascular markings, they are because of the meningeal vessels into both artery as well as the vein. Another thing that what you can able to see, if you see the texture, or you can say the inner table, this it is being marked by the certain elevations and depression, and these elevations and depression, they are because of the brain, the sulci and the gyri, and that is why it gives impression over here the some elevation and depressions. Another thing that you are able to see, if you see on this sagittal suture on either side, you have got this openings, these two openings what are known as the parietal foramina, and from there the extracranial blood vessels, they communicate with the intracranial, and there are such opening you can see over here on either side of the sagittal sulcus. So this is how the interior of the your vault looks like. Today we'll see the interior of the base of the skull. As we know that the base of the skull interior is divided for descriptive purpose into the three parts. The anterior, this portion is known as the anterior cranial fossa. Behind it, this area, it is known as the middle cranial fossa, and the posterior most part, what is known as posterior cranial fossa. So today we'll see the description of the anterior cranial fossa. So what is anterior cranial fossa? First we'll see how it is formed, the boundaries of the anterior cranial fossa. Anterolaterally, this anteriorly as well as laterally, this boundary, it is formed by the frontal bone. Posteriorly, it is being limited by this boundary, this one. So what is it? It is formed by laterally by the posterior free margin of the lesser wing of sphenoid bone, and then you have got the anterior clinoid process, and then anterior margin of this sulcus, what is known as sulcus chiasmaticus. So posterior free margin of the lesser wing of sphenoid, anterior clinoid process, and the sulcus chiasmaticus anterior margin will form the posterior boundary of the anterior cranial fossa. Now what are the structures that are there in the floor of this anterior cranial fossa? If we see in the midline, the anterior most and the middle most part is what is this is known as the frontal crest. So the terminal part of the frontal crest which we have seen in the vault is also lies over here. Behind it you have got this quadrangular plate of a bone, what is known as the ethmoidal bone. So it is known as the cribriform plate of a ethmoidal bone. If you see it clearly, there are tiny openings over this plate, and that's why it looks like a sheave, and it's known as the cribriform plate. Behind it, this portion, it is known as the body of the sphenoid, and it is known as the jugum sphenoidale because it has the junction of the two lesser wing over here. So this is the median area of the anterior cranial fossa. Further, if you see it, this, if you see detail behind this frontal crest, and in the midline there is a what is known as median projection, what is known as, there is crista galli. It looks like a cock's comb, that is why the name is derived. And in between the crista galli and the frontal crest, you have got a tiny opening. It is most of the time it is blind opening, that's why it is known as foramen cecum. Cecum means blind. Behind this is this your cribriform plate. So anteriorly this cribriform plate will communicate with the frontal bone, and posteriorly it will communicate, or it will suture with what is known as the jugum sphenoidale. If you see description wise, see, you will be the things will be more clear to you. This is the portion of this frontal bone. This is your frontal crest. Behind this 2 number is your foramen cecum. Behind this is crista galli, and this quadrangular plate of the bone, what is known as the cribriform plate. On either side of the crista galli there are tiny opening from where the ethmoidal nerves that enter into the nose. Further behind you have got on lateral aspect there is another tiny canal, and behind there is another canal. This anterior canal is known as the anterior ethmoidal canal, and behind it the another canal what is known as the posterior ethmoidal canal. And apart from this there are these sieve-like structures from where this sieve-like structure from where the olfactory nerves are coming, and they are from the nose they comes into the cranial area. Further, if you see the lateral aspect of this anterior cranial fossa, so this is the area which is formed by the orbital plate of the frontal bone, and this area lies in relation to the orbital, or you can say the frontal lobe of the brain. Orbital surface lies in relation to it, and this uneven surface is because of the sulci and the gyri which are present on the brain. Further, on posterior aspect you have got this lesser wing of sphenoid. This lesser wing of sphenoid has got the free margin, and projected part of it what is known as the anterior clinoid process. In the midline there is a sulcus chiasmaticus.